Hey, welcome to the best of everything. This is Ruben Paul.
No, we started already.
Yo, your drunk ramblings. Let's keep it consistent, man.
You know what? Guess what?
What?
Man, you're not going to hear nothing out of me from here on out.
All right. Well, welcome to the best of everything. I am Ruben Paul. Across from me is my partner in crime, my hungover brother from another mother, Mr. Johnny Sanchez. Yes, man, because you're wearing shades during a podcast and when you never wear shades. And it's okay. You're not the only human being that's ever been hungover. So it's fine.
And it's my birthday week.
It's your birthday week. So
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Well,
whenever this is going to, week, I think.
Let's just say you celebrated the entire week of your birthday,
Yeah,
but you've had a good birthday.
Some people do like a month.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So
a week is not bad.
Week's not bad.
Yeah. Women tend to like to celebrate the whole month and have events like every week. Mm-hmm. But you had a good birthday, right?
I've had a great one, and let's give a shout out to you. I mean, a whisper out to your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You know,
that is the GOAT. You know, I agree with that now.
Yes.
I didn't when I was young, but I do now.
Well, you know, as you get older, I felt probably the same way that you felt. Mm-hmm. Because in our minds, I think when we think of the greatest whatever, we think of undefeated fighters or, you know what I mean? But back then it was so competitive in boxing that, you know, great fighters fought other great fighters. And just because you lost didn't mean that you weren't great. But I think with Muhammad Ali, as you get older, you appreciate what he did outside the ring also. And
to everybody who, and no, this is no diss to Tyson or Larry Holmes, who came up in a different era when they did not have to fight these guys. But the 60s and 70s are considered the golden era of heavyweight boxing.
Of course.
So if you weren't fighting in the 60s and 70s, you really didn't fight the best of the best. It's just the way it is.
Well,
no, we witnessed it, dude. Like,
I see your opinion on that. It's kind of unfair. I think promoters really
opinion. How about the fact?
Oh my God.
How about that?
No, it's not.
How about we just do facts?
It's not a fact. More great fighters fought each other during those times, but you can't say great fighters never.
Norton, you know how great a competitive boxer this guy was?
Yeah.
Big, strong, fast.
Yeah. George Foreman, another big, strong fighter. Joe Frazier.
And then go to the 60s, dude. These guys were brawling back then.
It was a different time. It was a different era. You know, but skill set.
That's why Cassius Ali.
Cassius Clay.
No, I do the two.
Oh my God.
No, is it okay? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get chastised now. Anyway, Cassius Ali went 60s and 70s. That
is what
means he's the GOAT.
Okay, I appreciate that logic.
Wait, what happened? Somebody just got hit by Cassius Ali. That's what happens when you got hit by Cassius Ali with that jab. And by the way, the guy that created, not only hands down, the lead right. People don't even realize this. Nobody was doing a lead right before Cassius Ali.
What are you talking about? Quit calling him Cassius Ali. That's you're giving him two first names, and that's not what he went by.
But you know what I mean, man. Come on, man.
But
speaking of that, PEDs. I'm better on this podcast when I come in.
Because you're hammered and you don't realize.
No, this is the best I've ever done.
That's when you know someone is drunk, when they're telling you how good they are in the midst of their not being sober.
Oh, really? We're going to get laughs from the Blackfoot Indian over there, back there?
Now he's attacking everybody. But that is what I want to talk about. Even back then, you know, you never really heard about people taking drugs to enhance their performance like you do now. Even in boxing, they're really strict and they test for a lot of stuff. But all sports now, even track and field, baseball, football, ironically, they say they test, but you never really hear of any scandals in football of people getting caught taking steroids or PEDs. And it seems like if any sport that people would be juicing, you would think it would be football. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because of the size of the players, but you never really hear of anybody getting popped like in baseball, being accused of taking performance enhancing drugs.
Right.
You know,
like the whole home run.
Yeah, with Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire and other players, Barry Bonds being linked to it. But most importantly, what I wanted to talk about is when we talk about art, like when we talk about some of our favorite singers or musicians or comedians who were known to, take drugs and who were brilliant. And we know that they performed,
performed on them.
We performed being high. And I always wonder, like, we know Richard Pryor and Carlin and Janis Joplin and Hendrix and Miles Davis. Like, the list goes on of people that we know were performing high. Like, would they be as brilliant and respected if they didn't take drugs? You know what I mean? Because part of taking drugs is, making you uninhibited and not caring. And that's part of being a great performer, is to be able to get on stage and just be open and honest. And
in the moment, in a weird way. Now, I told you about me going sober on stage for a while, and I was not having fun. I was stammering like you just did. Mm-hmm. And I thought, is this a brain? And then I told Rube, went on stage recently, and I was hungover. Anyway, this is not a theme. It's just
it's like you're struggling to get this sentence out right now.
No, because everybody's gonna be like, Sanchez. Anyway, so I told Rube that I arrived to the gig, and I was really hungover. It was almost getting worse as the day went on. Although, what do I always tell you? I do my best work. What have I always told you? My best auditions?
When you're hungover.
Yeah. Okay. Because
I wish you were more hungover today.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. But go ahead. Leave him alone, man. Right. That's another way when Johnny is drunk, because that
I'm not drunk.
As you reach down to grab your beer and take a sip
of Negra,
is when you have such a short fuse when you've been drinking.
This is one of the reasons why I don't do that on stage.
Do what on stage?
Go up drunk. Now I go up buzzed.
Buzzed, yes.
So I was telling Ruben that my legacy is crushed because we discussed this. And I realized that I usually have half a glass of wine or a glass of wine before I go on stage. And it makes, I just told you, it happened just recently. So I was not feeling it. Oh, go ahead.
So
go ahead.
When you say your legacy is crushed, like you just think that you're better when you've had drinks.
And not even drinks. I mean, literally a half a glass of wine is enough. Where I feel
it's a noticeable difference for you then.
Well, what did I tell you the other day? I said, man, I told Ruben, everybody, I go, all right, I was hungover. This doesn't happen that often, but I was hungover and I was just like queasy. I had the shakes. And I told Ruben, I go, damn, man, I didn't feel like going on stage. And I went, all right, I'll do the hair of the dog and I'll just go get a glass of wine. 3/4 of that glass of wine, there was only about 25 people in the audience. Your boy crushed it.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. So your boy crushed it. And I got off stage and the two other comics were like, you killed it.
So
then I told you, I went upstairs in Long Beach Laugh Factory, got into the green room to get my coat, and then I saw my quarter of wine sitting in that glass, and I went, oh man, I needed that.
But do you?
So I needed. Yes, it's a proven fact already.
But so for you,
yeah,
it helps you just
everything
just relaxes
went away.
you.
Everything went. My anxiety, my shakes, everything went away.
But that's you being hungover. But when you are just coming normally sober, not hungover, you still feel like you need that wine to perform.
Well, you've made me realize that maybe I do.
I'm just asking a question. I don't know.
I mean, no. I think it's.
So in all your years performing,
yeah, I've always had something.
So it's a noticeable
a beer, or a half a glass of wine, something.
But and the reason why is because you had other sets when you didn't do it, and you just didn't feel right. Is that why?
Yes. You know, I told you when I'm too alert when I'm sober. Mm-hmm. Too alert. I hear everything. Somebody ordering a drink, somebody talking to their spouse. What's going on over there? Mm-hmm. And then, oh, sorry, man.
So when you've had a couple of drinks, you tend to let...
literally not even a couple. Half a glass of wine. And I'm like, I feel like I'm with the audience. They're having drinks. I had half a drink, almost a drink, or a drink.
Okay.
No, because you keep saying drinks, and I don't do that.
Well, I mean,
in the words of Meatloaf, but I won't do that.
Oh my God.
In the words of Meatloaf.
Anyway,
okay.
So
just checking if he even knows who that is.
Like we both believe that Pryor was the greatest comedian of all time. That's what I believe. But
we both agree on this,
but don't you find it interesting that he was somebody that, from stories we've heard and conversations we've had with people who were there with him and work with him, that it's no secret, you know what I mean, of the drug use, especially during that era in comedy with a lot of the guys. Mm-hmm. Some of the ones that we look up to and respect the most were high. And it's interesting that we have no problem with it with our artists, our musicians, but in sports, if somebody does drugs,
he's been cheating.
Yeah,
or she.
Yeah, he or she has been, been cheating, and it's unfair. And I know probably it's because of the competitive balance. If some people aren't taking and some people are taking, and it enhances your performance, then it's unfair to the people who aren't. And that affects contracts and getting paid, whatever. But the flip argument to that is the drugs actually make you play better. Makes you stronger, recover. But Barry Bonds doesn't take drugs and gives you the ability to hit a curveball. If you can't hit a curveball without drugs, you're not going to be able to hit it with them.
But if you already mastered hitting and then you start juicing, well, then I get it.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it does make a difference, don't you think? Or no, you don't think it does?
Yeah. I mean, the numbers prove it.
Yeah.
That's why, like, a lot of times.
But he was doing great before that, wasn't he?
Oh, he was a Hall of Famer before he took drugs. Yeah. Like, that's one thing that people universally said in baseball was, now still allegedly, like, they never really proved definitely that Barry Bonds took drugs, but everyone assumes just because of all the evidence that led up to him, just his connections with the different groups. Or
allegedly. I'm getting a note in my ear from our producer. Allegedly, we have to say that.
But the story goes that he saw what Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire did in the home run race, and just shattering the home run record and all that stuff. And he got annoyed by it and was like, well, if these guys are doing it, I'll do it. And he was already arguably the greatest player in that era, and he supposedly took performance-enhancing drugs and became literally the best baseball player I've ever seen, or most people have ever seen. Demolished Hank Aaron's, home run record. And I mean, I just remember that time.
And that's when I really started following baseball with it. Can I just say that?
Oh, really?
I got way more into it because of that.
Isn't that interesting?
The home run race.
Some people believe they should just let everybody take whatever you want to take, and let it be just like a league full of like superheroes playing against each other.
Wow, that would be interesting.
You know what I mean? Just let everybody take whatever they're going to take.
Yeah, like
and then that would balance it out again. You know what I mean? If they go, hey man, you could take whatever you want. And there are rumors in boxing with Manny Pacquiao when he came up in those weight divisions where, he was a really small guy and he was knocking out guys in bigger divisions, which is totally unheard of in boxing. And then the minute, the spotlight got put on him and he was being accused, he stopped knocking people out. So, it's always an interesting thing to see.
Aaron Pryor back in the day, remember they used to give him that drink?
Oh, didn't they give him like a burst of energy or something like that?
It was supposed to be mixed with some stuff. Yeah.
So,
because he would come out that was back in 15 rounds, by the way. So he'd come out in the 12th, 13th round with all this energy, and they kept going, let's check this whole thing. And by the way, whisper out to Manny Pacquiao, he's doing a great job as the lead singer for Journey. Anyway, isn't he the lead singer of Journey right now?
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not.
No,
I thought that was Manny. No
it's
way.
It's another Filipino, man.
Oh, that's a different one.
It's racist.
Oh, man. No, I don't know.
Yeah, you do know.
I don't know these things.
Yes, you do. Another thing in boxing that they used to do is give these people injections. Jesus, man.
It just goes on without.
Yeah, because.
Injections.
Injections into the fists that would numb your fists, and it would allow you to, punch harder and longer because there was no pain in your fist. So,
well, how about way back in the day, dude? They were putting things in the wrappings.
Oh yeah, I mean Antonio Margarito got caught for doing that with the plaster. And when he beat Cotto up, man, I remember he just beat Miguel Cotto.
Dude, it's like almost to death.
And almost to death.
Yeah, I mean that can kill somebody.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But that's different with the plaster. But those are ways of cheating and gaining a competitive advantage. But in art,
is it?
Do we think that these people would be as great as they are if they didn't take drugs? I mean, what's your opinion? Like, I don't have the answer. I don't know. Like we said about Barry Bonds, he was great before he took the performance enhancing drugs. But in art, it's a little different because it's all about being uninhibited and sparking that creative thing in your brain, or just putting you in a space where you just go with whatever you feel.
Like
you just feel free.
Ruben, just so everybody knows, Ruben's better than me. Always goes up sober. Every now and then, every blue moon, Ruben will maybe do a shot or something.
Yeah.
And then you've even said, "Oh man, it feels great." Whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not Ruben's. He just doesn't. You don't like that. You like to be. Ruben's more of a. Ruben likes to be in control a little more. But it's great.
Yeah, I just
because you found that thing that you said this before to me.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to mess with it because you already know you do so well sober.
But if I'm being honest, when I first started, I saw comics who got high or who drank before they went on and
Johnny
would
Sanchez.
go up and kill.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is, if I had like 2 or 3 drinks, or if I smoked some weed or whatever and had a great set early on, I know I'd want to duplicate that for the rest of my career.
Right.
Right. So, and that's what I didn't. I didn't want to have a crutch to have to be able to.
Okay.
Like, oh shit! I can't go on because I didn't have a couple of drinks. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
thank you.
I just always wanted to. And then another thing, I just feel more alert when I'm on stage. Like I do want to be
too alert. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
I hear everything. So.
But I will say, if I do. Sometimes when I'm on the road and there's those 2 show nights and and after the show, like I do a first show, I'll do a shot, or maybe during the first show, somebody sends a drink up to me on stage. If I am a little buzzed, I do feel more uninhibited. I do feel like less filtered. I could say, you know, and not that I am when I'm not that when I'm sober, but it's just another level of not giving a fuck. You know what I mean? Just like not caring.
And the difference is, which you have not said, which is what I feel. And I think this is the reason why you don't do it. You have not said it's a little more fun. And for me, it's a little more fun when I just have
you're buzzed.
even a tingle, just You know what I mean? Going on stage buzzed is drunk talking. I'm trying to do the CHP thing. Anyway, they say buzzed is drunk driving. Anyway, but it is. There's a difference, and I've always told you this. I feel like there's just that connection with the audience that they're having drinks. Let's have some drinks, whatever. But you're so much better about that than I am, but it does change things. So if Carlin wasn't high, if Rodney wasn't doing blow, if Pryor wasn't doing blow, what was the material going to? What were they going to be doing? So that makes Cosby great, right? Because Cosby wasn't, I don't think, doing anything.
But the reality of the situation, we don't really know for sure who's doing what. We know
he could have been.
He could have been, and we just didn't know. But we know that Pryor and all them were openly
we knew that
doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Based on interviews and people who were there, and them talking about it open and freely.
Of course.
So I don't know.
Yeah, so that made Pryor, I think maybe it made him so open and free, and
because he arguably was the most transparent comedian that we've ever seen.
If you're on Netflix and you see his special, that our favorite, which is Live at Long Beach, I think that's our favorite. I don't know if that's yours, but it's mine for him. And I love the way they even put it. They go, Richard Pryor takes on race, religion, and then at the end, the last thing is, but he goes after his favorite target, himself. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's it.
Yeah.
Right, Rube?
Yeah, talking about his life, his experiences.
And a lot of comics don't want to talk about who they are.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about the shit that they had to deal with. It's always, hey, and you people, and dating, and but yet, who are you?
Observational. It's all observational.
Observational. It's like, I don't even know you, dude.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Well, I was
nothing against. By the way,
yeah.
Good for Seinfeld. We don't know who Seinfeld is to this day, almost. Maybe now because he's older, but
me and you agree like that. Like, I do think they're brilliant comics who just do observational material. But the ones we tend to gravitate towards are the ones who talk about themselves and who you get to know by watching them.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, man. I don't have the answers to it. I don't know if it makes them any less brilliant. Was Jimi Hendrix, would he have been Jimi Hendrix, this brilliant musician, if he wasn't high?
Well, I can say this much. After reading the book on Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, who was always compared to Jimmy Page and Hendrix, he was a prodigy, young.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't doing anything when he was a kid. Mm-hmm. He was just
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he's one that falls into the category like of Barry Bonds, who was great even before they started. Right. But did he become a better musician when he started using? That'd be an interesting question to ask him.
Eddie Van Halen really wasn't off the book. Was really not that much of a like he went through his things. Oh, okay. But he was already.
But for his, it sounds like what you're saying. For him, it was more of a party thing than taking drugs to put him in a space where he can go out and perform.
Right.
Because I don't know, man. It's just really interesting because there's some people, like you said, you don't get drunk before you go on stage and perform. You just get buzzed to relax yourself.
Yeah.
But if most people who are inebriated are awful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would not want to see you drunk on stage.
You've seen me drunk on stage and you love me.
No, I seen you buzz on stage, but if you're drunk on stage, you'd
so good.
No,
Jamie even told me. Jamie,
you'd be a train wreck.
Whisper out that Jamie Masada.
Yeah.
Laugh Factory.
You'd be a train wreck.
No, Jamie even told me one time. He saw me. He goes, "Buddy, from here on out, buddy, just for the PayPal, for the PayPal." I go, wait, PayPal's here?
Oh, geez.
The CEO of PayPal's here? Then he goes, no, for the PayPal, buddy. They love you. Are hilarious, buddy, when drunk on stage, buddy. Always.
I think for people who know you, probably not for the audience. We're probably looking at you like, yo, get this dude off stage. There's a pit bull on stage attacking everybody.
Well, that's interesting because my best sets, my only great sets have been at Ruby Tuesdays when I'm drunk.
You're ridiculous. But you get drunk after you get off stage. You're buzzed on, and then when you get off, you have a couple of drinks, and then that's when you become obnoxious.
Yeah.
But let's get back to
right. So
to the musician. So I do find it fascinating that these guys who are high on cocaine can even operate at a high level.
That's amazing to me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they're in their zone, but maybe cocaine is different than alcohol. I've never tried cocaine. You've tried cocaine. Dude, your parents aren't listening, man.
Yeah, hold on.
You used to do coke. You used to do all kind of stuff, man.
Okay, hold on a second here.
Whenever we talk drugs, you're a grown man like your dad's going to come in here with the belt.
Before I go any
further. You do drugs?
He doesn't talk like that. I'm about to pull my dad's.
You do drugs?
Oh, my God.
Come on, mijo.
Oh, my dad doesn't even.
Yo, mijo, you do the drugs?
Oh, my gosh. All right, hold on a second. Before we go any further.
Your dad doesn't talk like that.
No. Buzzclaimer. Real quick. Buzzclaimer.
Yes.
Family, friends, because you're going to run into, some of you will run into my parents. Do not repeat anything that's going on this podcast.
Johnny.
So... Listen, dude.
All right, the 100th episode, you're going to have to...
100th episode.
You're coming clean. You're going to come clean, dude.
100th episode, dude. It is going to be from the day that those I'm not even going to give any names right now. I'm going to save this.
Yes. You're going to start from the beginning of your drug use.
I'm going to start from the first time I took that hit of that joint from some friends.
The gateway hit.
Wow, is it the gateway?
For you it was, because it led you to all the good shit. I haven't even done drugs. But when Johnny...
Yeah, Ruben's like, you know what's so weird? Like, the fact that Ruben started smoking weed at 53. No, but about 5 years ago, it's way younger, by the way. But it's crazy to me.
I started drinking...
No high school, no nothing.
I started drinking... Well, my first drink was in college. Let me not say that. I had a drink earlier.
I'm talking about weed.
No. I'm gonna lead up to where it started.
Okay.
I had a drink when I was younger, probably like, I don't know, 17, 18. Didn't like the taste of it. Never drank again. And then... Oh,
really?
Just like a sip of something. It was
well, none of us like the taste. We just like what it did to us. So you were somebody... You know what it is? Can I just say what it is?
What?
Even back then, you had to be in control.
Well, I do.
You don't like to get yourself because
I don't like to be out of control.
Because even when Ruben drinks tequila, he's good, and he does it the right way. By the way, he sips it. But even when you're on tequila, I'm like falling over, blubbering, and Ruben's just like, "You all right, man?" I'm like, oh,
I just like to get a good buzz, man. I don't like to be drunk because I don't like the feeling the next morning. I don't like that hangover feeling, what you're experiencing right now.
Hey, man,
I can't.
I got to be honest with you. This feels fantastic.
Yeah, but it's not fantastic for me and Chris. Yeah, you've been on Chris since you've been here because you get a little mean when you're drunk, man.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, you do. We love you though.
Well, I'm a scrapper. How many times do I have to say this?
But
I know.
But a lot of it was how strict.
He's corralling me, everybody.
My mom and dad were.
Yeah,
they were extremely strict. So, and then a lot of the people who drank and smoked and did drugs that I was around, they just seemed unproductive, and I didn't want to be that. They just seemed lazy. They didn't seem like they did anything. I played a lot of sports when I was younger, so I was kind of into that jock mentality. So I didn't want to, a lot of my good friends, like I would literally be in the car, everybody doing like passing the joint and not taking a hit and passing it to the person on the other side of me. So I would never really.
So you were not puff pass.
I was
you
a
were
puff,
pass,
puff,
pass.
No, I didn't.
Puff, puff, pass.
What's
you were
funny?
pass, pass.
Yeah, I was pass. I was pass.
Ruben was pass.
I was pass, 100%. And it wasn't until I think I was like 38, you know. And I remember Jesse. Jesse,
you guys
goes,
hear that? I want to make sure we all heard that.
Yeah.
38.
Yeah. And I remember, because I'd be at parties and stuff, and my boy Jesse smokes. He's been smoking.
Whisper out to Jesse.
Oh, jeez.
Whisper out to Jesse.
Jesse's been smoking since I don't know how long, since he was a kid.
Yeah, 6 months.
And he would be like, dude, just promise me, whenever you smoke, please let it be with me.
Yeah.
I have to see you high for the first time. And to be honest, I can't even remember, because it's been a few years. I can't even remember
what happened.
The first, I can't even remember who I was with and who I smoked with,
I think
why I smoked.
I don't know if the first time you really get high, though. I've had these conversations.
With different people?
Yep.
And you never remember the first time?
No, it's like you don't really get high on that first one.
Yes.
Oh,
I know what it was. It was an edible.
My misophonia?
It was an edible. It was an edible. Oh, jeez. It was an edible. That's what it was. The first time was an edible.
It took a while.
Yeah. First time was an edible.
For those of you who are old school, edibles are equal to the brownies. If y'all know what I'm talking about.
Oh, jeez.
They used to bake brownies. And then
that's what I had. I had a brownie.
Oh, it was before edibles then.
Brownie is considered an edible.
Yeah, but nowadays it's like
you have all different types of edibles. Yeah. No,
okay.
But it was a pop brownie.
Don't get me started on what was then and what is. Don't even get me started.
I don't, because I'm sure you have a whole catalog of stuff that you should do back then.
By the way, whisper out to all of you who had to pull in the back alley, go into that guy's, and this dude was one-stop shop. Mushrooms, acid, meth. Blow.
Yeah.
Okay. And you had to order weed from this dude who was going to and then the junkie came in who was going to shoot up the place. I just want to let the youngsters who just walk in to the subway of weed and just go, can I get some of those edibles? And then they just get a hand of it because I have, I can't sleep. And then they walk out. For those of us in the back alley, lights off, almost dead before you left. Can I just get a dime bag? Yeah, I'm here just for the dime bag.
Okay.
Hold on, dude. Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
Can we get back to cocaine?
That's what I'm talking about.
Can we back?
Because he was selling that too.
All right. I get that. Can we get back to you taking cocaine and how that makes you feel? And have you performed high on cocaine?
All right. This is a two-part question. Number one, we're going to talk about mushrooms and what our discussion after this.
Yes.
So I had a friend of mine force me to snort a little bit.
He shoved it up your nose.
No, you know what he got? The rolled up dollar bill.
Yeah.
And he put some of the, I guess they call it blow or something. And he went like a blow dart. Oh, a blow dart.
Please.
Wait a minute. I just came up with a new.
Oh, jeez.
So he went like this, and he blew it into my nose. And I'm like, whoa, dude, hey, I don't know you.
How did he get that? How did he get that close to?
Because he goes, I'm going to tell you a secret. And I went, what? He goes,
and he shoved a dollar bill up your nose and blew.
He goes, órale pues. And I went, what? And I lifted my head back, and he went like that and did a blow dart. So anyway,
I don't know if I believe that,
but
that just sounds so ridiculous that somebody's gonna blow cocaine up your nose from a distance.
Blow dart is great, isn't it? Blow dart.
So your parents aren't listening to this. You just sound ridiculous.
But I have cousins here. My sisters might be listening.
Yo, but you're an adult. It's not like you're doing coke. Well,
right now.
Are you?
No,
Did you do coke last night?
No.
Oh my God.
Ruben!
All right.
First
Just
of all,
answer
you know
the
what's
question.
funny about you?
Just
I've
answer.
been listening to our podcast, by the way.
Okay.
He doesn't. Oh, this is what's great. Ruben doesn't listen, but I do.
I do
And
listen.
here's what's hilarious. Ruben, first of all, you see I'm not stepping on his landmines, his racial landmines anymore. So it's always like, really, Johnny? The black guy sounds like that? If I just give a hint of how the guy really sounded.
No, sometimes you exaggerate and they do not sound like that at all.
Whisper out to the black guys.
Okay.
So,
Johnny, can we get back to how you feel when you're on cocaine? Have you ever performed on cocaine? Because I'm trying to equate it to...
Oh, yeah, you're right. We're going off in the track here.
If these artists that we love so much, if they're on these drugs and you've taken them, I'm just curious.
No, never. No, not that. No, half a glass of wine. Or
I understand the half a glass of
yeah.
wine, but obviously you've done coke inside of a comedy club before, correct?
Whisper out to the Comedy Store.
So you've done coke at the store.
Oh my God! Just say you've had
party
Jesus,
treats.
dude.
All right,
Can we go with party treats?
We've had party treats, and we know still now some guys are doing party treats because I've been offered some at the store. And I'm not saying everybody at the store does.
No,
that's not what we're saying.
But it's also what's great about the store. It's dark. Nobody knows what's going on in the back.
So
shout out. I mean, whisper out. No, shout out Mitzi Shore on that note.
So. But Johnny, so when you have done coke, was it after you gotten off stage? I'm just trying to get to the point of, have you ever been high on coke on stage?
No,
ever?
I've said this before. And by the way, you know what's funny? It's the way you use it that's irritating me, because we don't say it like that. We don't say it like. See, you're just like, have you done coke? Like he's yelling it out like we're gonna go into a convenience store.
Why are you ashamed about it?
Because we don't say it like that. It's
blow.
It's just like, hey man, bump.
Have you done done a bump and then performed on stage?
You mean some bumps?
Yes. Have you done some bumps and then performed on stage?
Never.
Okay.
Ever.
Now,
never high, never bumps, never mushrooms, never acid, never rush, no sniffing glue, no Sherm on stage. Everything else I did, but that.
Well, there's not many left, Johnny.
Oh, hey, Ron, motherfucker. Hey, Ron.
Have you ever tried heroin?
No, and the only reason why I never tried it was because I have such a big fear of needles.
Oh, okay.
So back then, it was only needles. When I was, okay?
Yeah.
So
if it wasn't needles, you probably would have tried it.
Yeah, because I hear now you can snort it, smoke it, and take it.
So let me ask you this, Johnny. Mm-hmm. So after doing a bump, could you imagine yourself performing?
No, man. Not even. You know, and that's funny that you said that earlier. You're like, Johnny, you get a little buzz before you go on, and then afterwards you go to town.
Yeah.
This is, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, because Robin Williams was so amazing working with him on the 2 Happy Feet films. But when I hope it's okay to say this, and maybe we'll cut it out. I don't even know. But when I was talking to him about Mork and Mindy,
mm-hmm.
and that I had watched him on Happy Days on the 2 episodes
mm-hmm.
as Mork, as the alien, right?
Yeah.
So I'm bringing up all these episodes. Robin says, I don't remember anything.
Wow.
I was
high the whole time.
I was that coked up. I go, no, but the one with Jonathan Winters, your idol. Remember the 2 of you were like improvising? He goes, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
Jesus, man. But how great was he in those roles? That's the crazy. I mean,
dude,
even actors.
I mean, really, this is no disrespect.
No, it's really, not any disrespect.
We're just gonna, because he was the night. Let me just tell you about Robin real quick. Robin Williams, was that person he was an Oscar-winning actor.
Yeah.
And you would never know it.
Just how he treated people and how
you
cool
know
he
the other
was.
thing was?
Yeah.
He loved stand-ups, dude.
Oh, he really did. Yeah.
And we had that store thing connection.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, I heard you, I heard you're a store guy.
Yeah. Man, I remember.
I'm not even trying to do, but he was the nicest man.
Dude, I remember
I've
he
ever,
did
so no disrespect.
Fat Tuesdays at the store, Guy Torrey's Fat Tuesdays, and he destroyed all black audience and destroyed the place. Of course, there's that excitement of seeing Robin Williams, but he was great. But again, he did Mork and Mindy that whole time high and was fantastic doing it. It's just interesting, like you just said, you could have never imagined yourself being on stage, after you did a few bumps. But the fact that these guys did it and then like on purpose and then go on stage and perform.
I mean, I really can't even imagine. And Ruben, that's like me trying to do sketches on Mad TV on something. I was always sober in all the tapings. It's weird because stand up, I got to have a little bit of wine.
Yeah.
TV, film, whatever.
Yeah.
Always sober.
How about doing stand up on TV?
Oh, it's been about a 50-50.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there's been time. Oh, yeah, this is my favorite story. Do you mind if I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this was the Biasso Comedy Slam. By the way, I kept going, can we call it something else? Because no one's going to remember this. And sure enough, hi, I saw you on the peyote. No one ever
remembers the name of it.
Yeah. Whisper out to Alex Raimundo. But he wanted it to be in Spanish. We get it. We get it. All right. I didn't like it. But anyway, so here's what happened. Mm-hmm. I go, hey, can I get some wine? So they bring me a bottle of wine, right? And yeah. So I finished the bottle of wine on the first taping. So I'm out there doing my thing, right? I come back. I go, can I get another one? And they go, yeah, if you want. So they bring me another bottle of wine.
Oh, Jesus.
I finished that one.
Before your second set?
Before my second set. And guess what I did?
What?
I did a callback.
Of a joke you didn't do.
I didn't even do. I did it on the first taping, not the second.
And got nothing.
And I couldn't figure out what was going on.
See, dude, that's another reason. And you remember, like, when you'd work clubs, Zany's in Chicago was one of the few clubs left that would do 3 shows on a Saturday. And I remember going totally sober.
I know.
Even totally sober because I never do the same act ever, like in same order, same way. Like you know what I mean?
Can we just say this one way? We don't go up. Ruben goes up. Hey man, how you guys doing? And he's just
you fill the room.
The room.
What you feel.
He more than I do, but I don't have an open. We've never had that opening line. Thank God.
Yeah, I know what you guys are thinking. Such and
so had a
baby.
Kid.
I know.
And once you get hooked in that, guys, it's over.
Yeah,
you're gonna have it forever. Oh, I know. And if you continue to do that, by the way, through your career, oh man, I got another one because there's a new actor or there's a new famous person. You're not being free on stage.
Yeah. I kind of,
right, Rube?
Especially with live shows. I mean, even with any shows, if I think of something, and maybe on tapings, when I've done TV tapings before, I've actually
made some mistakes, by the way.
Yeah, but I've actually done this. And it's the energy of doing something new. And me and you have talked about this. So like sometimes when I write a new joke, I like to do it first. A lot of comedians like to hide it in the middle of their set after the audience gets.
But I just like that doing the same thing. Yes.
I just like that fear or that anticipation, not knowing what's going to go, because it's like this is a new bit. I've never done it before. I'm gonna do it right off the top, to see if it works or not. And that's just me. I like doing that. But when I do a live show, especially I'm rarely first or something like that, headliner or whatever, I would like to talk about something maybe if something hits me on the way walking up after they introduce me, something might pop into my head and I'll open with something.
Yes.
Or the comedian that went on before me might have touched on something and I go, I have a joke about that, or something that it can lead me into
or
another
Johnny
bit.
Sanchez is before you and it sets you up.
Yeah, or I set you up sometimes too, which is great. Where some, you know what I mean? Like that's great about working with each other, because I go, I wasn't gonna do this joke, but Johnny's after me, so I'm gonna throw him a lob and do the jokes, and you can come up and like, when Ruben was saying or whatever.
And then my black guys with tiny ankles.
Yeah, which
you love that. Yeah. But can I just say this to everybody?
I love it. But.
Ruben Paul is, and we've talked about this, and I always say to you, I go, there is this thing about Ruben. He's just infectious. Like, you get on stage, everything changes. The night changes when you get on stage, right?
I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
So I'm telling you guys, going on after Ruben has always been one of the toughest things I've ever had to deal with in my career. There's just times Ruben just like, he's on, because there's something about what you do, and it's what you just said. You walk up, hey, what's up, man? But there's something, Rube, specific about it that is all you, but yet, dude, somebody can be from Bangkok.
Yeah.
And they'll go, love this dude.
Oh, thank you, man.
I don't have that. It's just a natural, I don't have it. He knows I'm all heady and I get on stage and I don't even know what I'm going to do.
The thing about you that makes me laugh though is prior to you going on stage.
Mess that I am?
Yeah, just as long as you've been doing it, as good as you are, just your whole like,
I'm a mess.
I don't,
a complete mess.
Why is that?
I can't even talk to anybody.
But it's interesting to get back to the original point is maybe I'm understanding more why you probably have a couple of sips of wine just to calm the nerves. You know what I mean? So you can be at your best. For me, I just want to be as available as possible. Like I said, I'm not going to lie, when I have had shots of tequila, I do feel looser and whatever, but I do always want to have this sense of awareness, because when I'm in my set, even though I probably know what I want to say, I just love taking something that might happen in the room and creating, like I've come up with bits because of spontaneity.
Yeah.
And for me, I just want to be alert to do that. And I think my acting training has always been like, one of my acting teachers always said, the best improv comes from structure. Like, once you have that foundation, and like, just say if we're doing a scene and you know your lines, once you know your lines backwards and forwards, then you can play and do whatever, because you know you can always get back to what was actually written in the very beginning. And I just kind of influenced my stand-up too, because I was a theater major before I even started doing stand-up.
Oh, that's right. Let's let everybody know, Ruben, in high school or college?
College.
I
wanted to do it in high school, but I didn't want to get made fun of.
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to do it in high school too. That's where all the cute girls were.
Did you ever do any plays or anything?
No, man, because of my hometown.
Yeah.
I would have been.
Yeah. I was so into sports in the high school.
Me,
but I'd always.
You saw the trophies.
Oh yeah, whatever.
When we put up that picture?
But Johnny, they must have not drug tested in high school then. At your high school, they must have not. They must have not.
You got me on that one.
They must have not, man. Because I know they started drug testing us like my senior year. Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I don't know if it was statewide thing or LA City thing.
Yeah, we were a small town.
It was just
that.
Our coach. Our coach was really a stickler because, my school is in the hood, so maybe he just wanted to make sure that, we weren't off the rails or doing anything. But I know people who play ball.
But how? What? You guys would do urine test?
Yeah. Yeah, we had to do piss tests.
Wow.
Yeah, we used to have to do a piss test. But again, in sports, it's a bad thing, but in art, it's a good thing. Like
Pollock. Beethoven. Everybody.
Look at you said Robin was doing Mork and Mindy, and as a kid watching Mork and Mindy, we laughed out loud. And that you even told Robin you became a huge fan of his watching Mork and Mindy. And look at the music that we love. Come on, man. If some of these artists weren't high and created these soundtracks to our lives, we wouldn't have. Come on, dude.
The Beatles.
The Beatles.
They got creative. They got great. I mean, they were great, but they went from "I Want to Hold Your Hand" to
Sgt. Pepper.
Sgt. Pepper and Revolver and everything after was when they were experimenting.
But let me ask you this, because
Pet Shop with Dennis Wilson, like it was
Beach Boys.
The Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but Johnny, getting back to the Beatles. Of course, I'm aware of the Beatles, but I wasn't necessarily a Beatles fan. Were they?
I became one later.
Were they open about them doing drugs? Were they open about it?
Later.
Oh, they were.
Later.
Yeah. Later, they were very open about it.
Yeah. See, but
they got high. Remember they smoked a joint at the one of the first times they smoked weed was at the Palace meeting the Queen.
Yeah.
And they just decided to. But after that, dude. Yellow Submarine, I mean, the shit got because they went beyond the weed. It was dropping LSD. It was
Could you imagine Biggie Smalls was one of Notorious B.I.G., one of my favorite rappers of all time. He used to smoke before he went into the booth and laid down the tracks, and he never wrote anything down. He would just smoke, play the beat.
How would he have done? If he didn't smoke.
Man.
You know
what I mean? It's
I'm puff, puff, pass. You're pass. He's puff, puff, puff.
Yeah. Exactly. But
I mean.
So your favorite band of all time, AC/DC.
Correct. Oh, yeah.
Were they performing
Bon Scott, which I consider him, well, he launched them. So, but they were drunk all the time.
When they created in the studio,
Bon Scott always had he died. He died from throwing up.
Yeah.
It was from alcohol. He had a bottle of whiskey all the time. He was always drunk in the videos, in the
studio,
in the studio, and he's the guy that laid down all those lyrics. By the way,
wow.
Angus, Malcolm, same thing. All those years,
damn, dude,
drinking. And what else? And who knows? I mean, it was the 70s. So what else?
Like we've talked about before, dude.
Aerosmith.
And
Stones.
To everybody listening, I don't have the answer to this. We don't have the answer to this. This is just an interesting question to wonder what it would be like. But I do feel like this. Some of the greatest art that this world has ever seen. Some of the greatest art has been created by people who are under the influence of drugs.
Something.
So I want my art drug filled. I want my artists high if that's going to put them at their most creative and at their best. Like, to me, art without drugs is like the NBA without black people. I wouldn't want to watch it, or I wouldn't want to.
Well, I kind of enjoy those old 50s with all the white dudes. Yeah, because the short shorts and the layups and the 3 points.
The NBA is way more exciting, way better.
But isn't it? But it got too easy. It's too easy now.
What do you mean?
First of all,
no, it's not too easy. It was too easy back then. That's why one team won 11 championships in a row, because they had the only black guy. Thank you, my trusty Navajo.
But here's the thing. How about this?
What?
The fouls are just ridiculous.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're just talking about the athleticism and the excitement. Ooh, and it's just great watching basketball. I mean, basketball had to be pretty boring when it was all white. Now you got people, they weren't even dunking back then. Remember they
weren't dunking.
They outruled the slam dunk because of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It was like, hey, you can't do that shit. We can't do that, man. It's so unfair.
Jeffrey's like, hey, wait a minute, wait.
No
He
way.
can't. No, dude. But here's the thing, though. They were great shooters. And the hook.
Yeah,
Nobody's doing hooks anymore.
Kareem did it. They're like, man, this dude, he doing a hook.
I know, dude.
He was hook and dunking.
I would say they're better now though with Curry and Klay Thompson.
Well, Curry just reinvented the 3-pointer at half court.
Whoa. What do you mean they're better now?
The players are better now.
Oh, the players are better.
Chris? You know, he just set out
they're better
a
now.
landmine.
The blacks are better now than they were. Come on, dude.
Okay, everybody, can I just say this?
What?
No, I'm going to say it.
Because I call out your racism on a regular basis.
What did I say about that? Not racist. Little biggity.
Yeah.
Little biggity.
No doubt.
No biggity. Yo biggity.
Yo biggity.
So Ruben is first generation
Haitian American.
Correct.
Yes.
And see, he doesn't even do it like I do it. I say I'm an American Mexican. He says Haitian American.
Yeah.
I put America first and then my race. But my
parents, because my parents were born there. My sister was born there. I'm the only person in my family that was born in America.
Yeah.
So,
you're gonna love this. My sister goes. I was talking to Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
And I go, yeah.
Shout out Cindy.
Whisper, Cindy.
Shout out Cindy, because you know she got the cowboy hat on.
She got the cowboy, and she goes, I go.
And the boots, right?
And the boots.
So
shout out to Larry then. Anyway.
So is that the Tulare dress code? Cowboy hats and boots?
I used to have snakeskin anacondas when I would live there. I wore snakeskin anacondas.
Boots? You?
Justin Boots. Yeah.
You?
Justin's.
Short guys in boots make me laugh.
Yeah. Do you know how immigrant-y I looked back then? And I didn't even get it?
I could only imagine.
I'll show you a picture.
But you're about to say something about Cindy.
So I was talking to my sister the other day, and then what were we talking about before that though? How did I get on this? How did we get on this?
We were talking about my parents being born in Haiti, my sister being from Haiti, and you're about to say, my sister, did she listen and she was going to make a point about me being Haitian or third generation?
Yeah, that was so funny. She goes, first of all, she's like, hey, by the way, Ruben, gorgeous. And I went, oh yeah, he's a handsome dude. And then she leaned, she said, okay, all right, Tommy's asleep.
Tommy's her husband?
Yeah. She goes, let me check Tommy. Okay, Tommy's asleep.
Your sister's hilarious.
And then,
dude.
But what's funny is I went, she goes, I mean, really, really handsome African-American. I go, he's Haitian. She goes, oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, so he's I go, no, but it's the same. He still has African. In other words, for a moment, she went, oh, he's not no African blood.
Well, people don't. You know what's interesting about?
Anyway, I hope I didn't put her on blood.
No. Cindy's great. What people don't realize is we're all from Africa.
Yeah.
And Haiti, what a lot of people don't know, and you should know, was one of the last stops that the slave ship made before they came to America. So they dropped off a bunch of Haitians.
And
a bunch of Africans in Haiti. It wasn't even called. It wasn't even called Haiti back then.
It wasn't Haiti back then.
Hispaniola.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, shout out to my Spaniard peeps.
Well, you know,
dominating and impregnating.
You know, I'm part Dominican also. So.
Coño.
Whatever.
They all talk like that.
Did you do a bump? You sound like you did a bump. Did that sound like somebody who just did a bump?
No, but they all have that windy thing. You notice that? Those are the Cubans and the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans. What do you want? I go, what? I go, is there a hurricane coming through here? Anyway,
oh, jeez.
Coño.
But again, getting back to
ignoring me, yeah,
to art and sports and using drugs, it feels a little hypocritical in one aspect, because the thing that stood out to me that you said earlier was, I didn't really get into baseball until Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire. Like, that's just interesting in itself.
Yeah,
that because they were taking drugs and it was so exciting and so many home runs, you're like, oh, wow, I want to watch it. But yet sports is telling us, hey, man, it's bad if you take these drugs. But yet Major League Baseball benefited tremendously from this quote-unquote drug era. I think it got
everybody back into it because...
But at the same time, baseball benefited from all this stuff, but they won't let any of these guys in the Hall of Fame. Isn't that crazy? They won't let any of them in the Hall of Fame. And there's been people trying to fight and going, hey, put them in the Hall. The numbers are the numbers, and just call it the steroid era. You know?
Or an asterisk.
Or put an asterisk or whatever. But you can't deny Barry Bonds' contribution to baseball. You can't deny Mark McGwire's contribution to baseball. You can't deny Sammy Sosa's contribution to baseball. Or even with Pete Rose, who did his gambling thing.
Pete, I can't do it with Pete.
Why not?
No.
Just because he gambled,
because he's a jerk. That's why.
Why, have you met him?
No. Watch his interviews.
Anyway,
sorry for all you.
He's a big boxing fan. I met him at a fight one time. He seemed nice. He seems nice.
What would he do in the ring? What would he do in the ring?
What does that have to do? That doesn't have anything to do anything. But anyway.
Oh, man. What?
Yeah.
This went by way too fast.
It went by too fast.
I'm having too much fun.
I'd be interested. Is there a way, like, I'm curious to what people think about this topic. Do they think it's a bad thing or a good thing?
Yeah, guys chime. Oh, by the way, I got to listen, man.
What?
My boy from back home, Stan Felton. Every episode. He's listened to. That's Spanish for episode. Every episode he's listened to.
You're just making up Spanish words.
Yeah. So whisper out to Stan Felton.
Shout out to Stan Felton, man.
Jill
Thank you
Sanders,
for listening. Jill.
Beautiful. They're both redheads.
Thank you to everybody who's been listening to the show.
Can I just say?
Jesus, how many people do you want to shout out? All of Tulare?
Two of them. I told you Jill's the one who's like, I want to talk back to you guys, which would be. Wait, what happened?
I don't know, Johnny. You're winding down, man. Your beer is done.
Oh, yeah.
We're losing you, man. We're losing you. You're fading fast, man. But thank you guys for listening. We appreciate everyone who listened. This was just a topic me and Johnny have talked about privately, and we're just curious. But as far as all the artists going out there, I'm not encouraging you to use drugs to be creative. But if you're already using drugs and you're creating great stuff, keep doing
what you're doing. And that goes for caffeine too, because I know the Christian comics think they're like excluded in this. No. You need an energy drink. You need an energy drink and your Starbucks. Backwards is Scub Rats. That's why I never go in there. Just a little note. Remember that, it's Scub Rats, guys, backwards.
Okay. Jeez.
And you are also enhancing.
Is that to justify the fact that you have to have your wine before you go on stage?
Well, my legacy's shot at this point.
No, man, it's
everything I've ever done. I've had a little bit of alcohol, and I just you made me realize this after we talked about it on the phone, because Ruben and I really talk, and we hang out, and we're friends, and it's like Ruben really and I realized that the other night. I had to have that 3/4 of glass of wine. And it made me better. I was relaxed and I was ready to go. And I killed it with 25 people. The only one.
But I don't honestly, I don't think that stops you from being a great comic. I think you'd be great even if you didn't. That's what I believe.
Well, thank you. And you appreciate me being here, right? Because you know I was almost dead.
Yeah, I do.
Like a week
part
ago.
Of me appreciates you.
For everybody out there, I'm not going to get into details. We'll get into another one. Let's just say I could have been another statistic about a week ago. And we'll explain on another episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
So
but
I'm
you guys,
here. Yeah. I'm alive.
Thank you guys for listening to The Best of Everything. And tell people about it. Subscribe. If you like share. If you like the podcast, tell people about it. We really appreciate you guys.
Somebody needs some alcohol enhancing.
Jeez.
So he can talk.
We really appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. And curious to hear your opinions on this.
The best of enemies. The best of everything.
How can we get opinions? Oh, they can leave comments on.
My God!
Yeah, leave some comments.
Sounded like a grandpa.
What?
Wait a minute.
Oh, gee.
Y'all reach out. Can y'all reach out? Wait, what we gonna do?
All right.
Hey, listen.
Okay.
Get that carrier pigeon.
Thank you guys for listening.
Put the note.
Thank you guys for listening.
You mail that motherfucker.
That was
straight
the
to
best
the
of
breast
everything.
of everything. The breast.
With Ruben Paul.
I'd rather do the breast of
and
everything.
Johnny Sanchez and his racist black voice.
Ruby motherfucking Tuesdays.
This show is all about diversity and bringing everyone together. You never know who you're going to see at Ruby Tuesdays.